Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. Well, I'm in a city, so I'm actually working on a project. I've been getting pretty sloppy lately because we've had such nice weather. And that slop is in the form of not having my vehicle bag prepared. And what I decided to do was move away from a sling bag I'd been using and use this Maxpedition Falcon 2. Now, a few things. First of all, this is a backpack. Sling bags are great, but if you have to carry them very far, especially if they are loaded or overloaded, a sling bag can, well, get quite uncomfortable, be a little tougher to use. Also, if you are moving fast, climbing, running, scrambling, carrying other things, the sling bag can be a little difficult to manage. That's where you need a real backpack, and that real backpack has a sternum strap because this will lock it onto your shoulders. A sternum strap, just essential, keeps these adjusted to the width of your neck basically, but then also a waist strap. Now this doesn't necessarily have to be a load-bearing waist strap like a backpack, like if you're going backpacking with a 50-pound pack or something, but it does keep it on your body. The other thing is the slim line. Some backpacks or carrying packs that people are using for car kits tend to get quite pear-shaped, and that actually does create a few problems if you're trying to move in a confined space. You can see that the narrow profile actually is a benefit here, and also if you're swinging your arms back and forth, say running or something, anything that starts sticking out impedes your movement, you have to change your gait, things like that. On this side also in this pack, on the Falcon 2, there is a hidden storage area, so you can keep some essentials in here, whatever those might be, staplers, money, etc. But as you can see, plenty of organization. I've attached a few carabiners. I use real rock climbing carabiners. I don't use anything that can't be used to basically save life. None of the no climbing ones. But you can kind of see the layout, the organization. But here's the challenge. I need more than a flashlight and carabiners. I'm going to make some other additions to this pack. But first, on the outside, I have chosen this pack for this color. This is kind of a combination khaki foliage is actually the name of this color. And to me, that looks like urban, tactical, camouflage gray. Yes, it's got all of the features that I do like, all the attachment points, everything like that, but it seems to me that this color combination just doesn't stand out like tactical. It's almost like tactical wannabe, so you're not too worried. Another thing is I put a Maxpedition dump pouch on here. Roly-poly, if you have not seen or used one of these, that's what it looks like attached, but when I open it up, it is a large carrying container on the bottom. I use these for a lot of things. You can see just how big that is, but suddenly I now can add all kinds of stuff to my pack, whatever that might be. Just attach that on. So far, I have a flashlight in here. I need to add the rest of the stuff. What is the rest of the stuff? Well, it's this. And a hatchet, of course, and a saw, because hatchets are somewhat limited. A pry bar, in this case, that hooligan Halligan from CountyCom, and then a few other things that I've got in my current storage container, which is a paper bag. So, here we go. All right, that was a nice time to have an airplane fly over. Is it always this noisy in cities? But anyway, so what I have are the things I need to fit in here. And I'm going to go through those pretty quick. Otherwise, this would take forever. But this is built on many, many years of working with this kind of stuff and actually using it on trips and giving it to other people. So I've got the bag here. The first thing, I need to get the big stuff on the inside. So On the Falcon 2, you can open it up. In fact, you can tear it open just like that. These zippers, there are two of them that run down the sides, run down along here and here, so you can literally pull it and open it up. A few other things on the outside. You might notice this strap here and these compression straps here and here on both sides. Those are essential not only for overloading it, but also for strain relief on the zippers, even though these are high quality, large YKK zippers. So I only have 1,400 cubic inches to work with here. So let's see if I can get this done, and then I'm going to modify it because probably of your suggestions. So first thing, what we have here, this is actually a camp stove. And if you've ever been stuck somewhere, so I've got the stove in here, a little tiny thing, plus a couple of folding spoons, as you can see. You can get these. I usually pick them up. Actually, that's not the stove. Sorry, that's just the folding stuff. Let me get to the stove here. There's the stove. So here's the fuel. There's the stove. And this is just to cover the stove and the striker or the fire or the sparker. This thing here, this screws on right there onto the gas can, and then the gas can fires it for quite a while. So get that picked up. See if I can get all this back in. So I've got essentially two pots there. All set, safe, self-contained. Throw that in. A couple of larger things here. I'm going to get the hatchet is going to go in there. Goes blade down, slide it along one edge, just like that. The pry bar is going to fit in right there. The next biggest thing was the saw, wherever that went. Here's the silky saw. Get a quality saw. If you need a saw, you need a saw. Okay? You don't need a little inexpensive one. I like this curved blade, metal handle, silky all the way. So something like that goes right in alongside. Because this is round, this thing's round, you can slide things down. And then a knife, in this case I've got a Gerber Strong one. It's going to slide right down in there. So then I can go with some larger stuff. And I've got a few organizers here from Maxpedition that I use as well. In this one, I've got a drinking straw. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to do something else. But I do have this backpack, or not backpack, this is a sleeping system. Obviously, all this is a double-sided, or double-size Mylar blanket. And these things can be used for tarps. In this case, all it is a reflective barrier. They don't keep you warm through insulation. They keep you warm through either breaking the air around so you don't have the convection currents taking your heat away, and reflecting back body heat. So that's going to go in there. What do I have in this one? Okay, here I've got batteries. Here's 4 of the CR123s. Here is an emergency candle. Bug spray. This is essential mostly for the summer. A little bit of paracord. Matches. So I might fill these two out a little bit more. I've got some things under here that probably should go in. In this case, here's a titanium grail for water purification. So you just add your water in the cup here, and then here's the filter. As you push down, it pushes the water through the filter with your pressure. And then, let me release that. And then you've got clean water up in the top. So with the water, I also have some food, and this is Mountain House. You can eat this stuff without putting water in it, or you can just put cold water in it. Ideally, you put hot water in it, and then it's so much better. But I'm gonna get this lined up. Right up here, Mountain House. And believe it or not, that has been, I won't say a lifesaver, but a comfort saver when I've been stuck. Didn't move as far as I wanted. I'm between cities on a long drive, and I just can pull over and make a meal. So there are these pieces. Now let's move out here. I have a cup with the Grail. I'll see what I've got for room here. We've got this little Velcro Maxpedition pouch. I've got a Grundig radio. This is AM, FM, and 2 different shortwave bands. You can see, you want to pause that and try to read that, see what it says there, but it runs on AA battery or AAA batteries, so I've got 4 of those here. That's enough to cycle this thing 2 complete times. I don't often use things like this, but I have really wanted them at times. Slide that down there. I've got a headlamp and a flashlight, and I'm going to put those up in this top compartment because that's literally where you would look for something like that. What else would go up here? Your Leatherman. So those things definitely are up there. I'm starting with the essentials and working my way through. Okay, so now what else do I have? Got some masks, don't use those quite as much. Lighters, tape. That was another stove I was wondering about using. Another headlamp, that one I'm going to have out. Now normally I would have my EDC stuff with me, and I would also have some other, like if it's cold, if I'm doing a long trip, I'll obviously have a bag full of warm clothes. I usually have a sleeping bag, plenty of duct tape, tarp, things like that. But going back into it, well, this is something I used to carry. I'll see if there's room, and what it is a GPS. This is a big one. I might go to a smaller one, and sometimes that comes in handy. This is not an EMP bag, a get-home bag really, although you could use it as one, or a bug-out bag, or a never-coming-home bag, or a get-out-of-Dodge bag, or whatever you want to call it. This is more a comfort bag for your car when you know, okay, wait, I've got light, you know, I've got some repairable materials or things to repair things. Always have an extra hat. Definitely. Here's my my kit. I've got some silicone tape for hoses, or you can use obviously both of these as first aid tape. I think you can fix about anything. I've got a helicopter circling me. Maybe I'm talking about something I shouldn't. Sound like Cody. But anyway, I think between those two things you can do almost any first aid. Yes, it might be ugly. Yes, the doctors at the hospital or the ER are going to complain about how you did that. But seriously, I mean, you can even take duct tape, good solid duct tape, and just spin it into a coil and make a tourniquet. It's obviously a bandage. You can obviously build splints, you know, repair broken bones. Got the plastic bag so I can make a chest seal. I mean, literally about anything. But I do have a tourniquet that will be going on the outside. So definitely need that. I'm going to put that in. Hold off on the GPS. Gloves, definitely. These are more work gloves than warm gloves. Again, kind of the same thing, especially if you're working in colder weather with metal. So I've got that in there. This is a buff. I love buffs. A buff is basically just a tube of cloth, stretchy cloth. I have tons of these things. You can use it as a hat. You can use it as a neck warmer. You can use it as a face mask. It makes a huge difference. Most people don't have a lot of fat in their necks, so your neck is where you lose a lot of heat. But there are tons of other uses for these, including first aid uses, so definitely have that. We start zipping this up because we're going to have to add some effort to close it up with bigger stuff in it. Okay, so now I'm a little torn here. I don't carry water in this bag, and the reason is it's going to freeze. This is going to live in the car 24/7 for all winter long. So I have to take that into consideration. So I have two options here. I've got a big dromedary bag. I think that's a little too big. I'm going to abandon it. Instead, what I've got is this silicone bottle. Very small. I can easily get it under things. Sometimes it's hard to fill the larger containers because you can't get them low enough or wedged in something. Obviously, if you're trying to get it in a gas station sink, you're not in a life-threatening situation, but sometimes you are trying to squeeze it out. But also because of this, I can literally get my water bottle down to this size. You can see how thin that is. So that's definitely going in there. Slide it down. Okay. I've got a small light here. Often what I'll do is attach a light to the outside because literally that's like the first thing you're grabbing. I know it's there. I can turn it on. Actually, on this one, I screw it, can turn it on, and now I can find stuff in my bag. I might lose it. Yeah, that's possible. The larger light that I had, I don't know where it went. Probably, oh, it's inside. That runs on the CR123s. I would definitely use something like that if you are leaving it in the car. They handle heat better. Those lithium batteries, they handle cold weather way better. This is a 511 kit. Here's a little adapter, or a little, here's a little over-the-top battery holder. So I've got 4 more in here. I don't think I'm going to use this just because of the weight and size. So that's out. I can use the buff if I need a face mask. Paracord, absolutely. Again, that's probably going to go in this pouch right here. I'm going to start closing that up, as you can kind of see what the shape of this looks like. Okay, I'm not going to do the GPS. So let's go back to these. I think I am going to pull out a couple of things. I have a knife sharpener. I'm going to pass on that. I'll use a rock if I have to. But I'm going to go back to this one. Definitely have my Mylar sleeping bag here. These are also important even in hot weather. If you've got somebody that's had a traumatic injury, you've got to keep them warm. So then I've got my matches. I've got that. I'm going to add some more lighters. I always have plenty of lighters. I often leave them in the pouch unless I really need them. That's kind of a way to keep them also from migrating out of here into some other use. So I'm going to close up this little Maxpedition pouch. Okay. What else do I have? Fire steel. I've got my big one that I really like, but instead I'm going to add just a little Swedish fire steel. Most likely I won't need it, but that is something that I have run into. This is just a fluorescent orange bandana. Again, signaling, doubles as a buff, kind of, but also, again, you can use it as a sling, something like that, or just a little bit of extra warmth. All right, so here we go. Get this stuff in there. I look at these as these small kind of kits. If you got a bunch of small parts that are going to fly all over, throw them in another bag and then wedge that bag in. But because now I've got that, I've got this whole section here I have not even tapped into. But now that's in there. I have got a 15-foot, I've got a 15-foot strap here. Critical for lots of things. Tie downs, attachments, fixing things, broken car, want to strap it back together. But it also, as a loop, can be used in rescue. That's going to slide down right in there. Got all these Maxpedition smaller pouches. Now, here is my first aid kit. This isn't a field trauma kit, but I have added quite a few things. I took out the tourniquet and added a lot of what are essential first aid items that are real. Obviously, most things I can do with duct tape, but some people get a little nervous, so I've got that. Okay, I still have plenty of room in this thing, so I'm not going to use these at the moment. This is a flat titanium stove. Folds up into a little trapezoid, or a what's the shape? Hexagon maybe. Now this is not like the ones that are in a whole bunch of pieces. I can literally, if you look at this, the way this goes together, slides in just like that. There, I'm done. That's how fast it is. Ultra light, ultra thin, ultra dirty. But then I can use this with something else. That's when I'm kind of thinking back. Maybe I want one of these. Why not this one? Probably too small. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get that guy in there. But definitely this now I can burn sticks, whatever. Why may I want to do that when I've got a gas stove? Good question. So I'm going to throw this in. Takes a lot of times people say it takes no space or adds no weight. It always takes space and adds weight. But I've got plenty still here to work with. So I'm sliding this down in a pocket right up at the top there. Now, can I get this in? Absolutely. You know how? Well, I can actually get both of those in with the Grail. So now I've got 2 cups and my water purifier right there. Slide this back. I'm going to drop this down in, push it. Look at that. So that fits in there. Now, I've got something essential. That got this that fell off the table. What do we got? Toilet to go. Do I need to explain that? That is going to go right up here too, where you can grab it fast. Inside here, I do have some paper and a wet wipe in case you're into that stuff. So that's a great solution. I don't know if you do any canoe trips, things like that. That's where those come in handy. So I've got all that. Now I go to my favorite spoon. If you don't have one of these, you need one. It's a long-handled spoon right there. Tourniquet on the outside. I'm going to throw that right over here. Oops, slide that on. I'll just do it quick because you're going to rip this thing off if you need it. If you put stuff on too tight and you can't move it. There we go. So now I'll throw the compression straps on and pull this out. There's that. I'm going to drop this down to get a compression strap around the flashlight. Right there. Just a little added safety, but I can still pull it out, no problem. And I've still got plenty of room to add more things. So that's where I'm at right now with the Maxpedition Falcon 2 car bag, or tactical bag, or get home bag, or bug out bag, whatever it is that you want to call it. There it is. Put my roly-poly back together. I'll put links to these things, the Maxpedition stuff down there. So, let me know your thoughts, questions, if I omitted something, if I've left out your essential thing, if I've got stuff that doesn't work. I know everything works in here. I've been carrying roughly this load out for decades. It seems to be the essentials. Now, I am going to put together a bug out bag video because I keep getting asked about that. But for now, this is going to go in the car. I might secure this a little bit better or get a better one. I need a better container for that tourniquet in here. It's a cat tourniquet. So I don't want to lose it. But for right now, there. Now I can sleep at night. Literally. Speaking of night, I think it arrived. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.